Good day, everyone. I'm doing my first LinkedIn Live today as a prelude to a special mega event on the 24th March, Thursday this week. So please excuse any technical glitches that may come about. I've come here to share with you what we've planned for the last 3 months as a culmination to our 10-year anniversary, which is kind of special for us. We got together to brainstorm and talk about what do we want to do to celebrate this journey that started with a lofty dream of transforming lives with nil running a business experience. So with literally hope and inspiration in our hearts, we commenced this roller coaster journey because we believe that each person has it in them to become their best version in a way that transforms organizations. One of the gifts in this path was the privilege to work with and coach inspirational leaders around the world. As much as we have enabled them, or what we'd like to believe, they have enabled us with their wisdom and experience. And we thought, what if we get a few of them together on stage to share that wisdom with the rest of the world, the battles they face and how they overcome them individually and as leaders in organizations. And that led to the birth of our very first public event, Transforme, We Rise Together, celebrating 10 years. So we have for you 12 global speakers from the United Nations, Fortune 500 companies and successful startups, representing various roles as CEOs, founders, chief people officers, learning and development heads, and an Emmy Award winner too. It's going to be a series of curated conversation tracks on post-pandemic leadership themes, starting with a very special keynote by motivational speaker Vinny Panchi with an unforgettable voice. It's a great way to kickstart the event with motivation, with drive, and we are so looking forward to that. After that, we covered 2 panels. And while we were discussing what the topics of those panels would be, we picked up two topics that we've heard consistently working with organizations as the biggest challenge in the last couple of years. The first panel will be on how do you balance empathy and high performance? How do organizations gear for growth in a post-pandemic world? We all know the early phase of the pandemic pushed organizations and teams to shift gears from thrive to survive. Leading with empathy became an imperative for business leaders to face COVID crisis. Conversations on employee well-being and mental health became high priority. Now in 2022, organizations are seeking to reprioritize business growth. And I'm sure some of you are feeling that as well. It's time to start expanding. It's time to start growing. And we are finding ourselves faced with some crucial conversations, which is how do we shift the focus back to driving high performance when we're still not out of the clear from the pandemic? How do leaders and managers drive higher result orientation while continuing to be empathic? And lastly, how do they manage the proximity bias that may creep in soon with this new hybrid world where some of us are going to work and some of us are still working from home? So we've got this amazing panel of speakers who will explore these questions, each of them running their own businesses, to better understand what are the way forward to bring this balance between empathy and high performance. So that is one panel that we're really looking forward to bringing it to you. The panelists would be Connor Rook, who is the founding member of Nuago, a South Australian technology company. We also have Preeti Shetty, who's the Chief People Officer for WeWork India. We have Siddharth Gupta, the co-founder of Tribo Hotels, 3 very unique individuals and unique leaders who bring in their perspectives on what's happening in organizations and what they are doing to balance empathy and high performance. This will, of course, be moderated by Paul Priest, who's the South Australian Director for CEO Institute. And in Paul's words, he's worked so much with CEOs across these years, he's able to understand what's happening, what are the challenges CEOs are facing, and what are the steps they're putting in place. So watch out for this wonderful panel. You can get some great ideas from how do you balance empathy and high performance. After that, we have about 30 minutes for a micro session on storytelling to influence by Gatik Georgia, our co-founder of Transforme. This is one of our flagship programs. And we thought, what better way to bring this to the world, to share with you what do we do, because the world has changed so much, and so must our communication as well. It's so much that's happened and changed. One wonders, is it high time that we change the way we reach out, the way we connect and communicate with people, regardless of your role or title? Today, each one of us has the responsibility to inspire, influence, and engage people. Engage people, engage your team, engage your community, and most importantly, engage yourself. So this is where mastering the powerful skill of storytelling will come in, where we'll help you create a positive impact. Join this mini session to discover the power of storytelling and take the first step towards becoming an impactful storyteller. And lastly, we close this entire event of We Rise Together with our second and last panel. And the theme we'll be talking about is breaking the internal glass ceiling, challenging mind traps to build an organization with gender equitable workspace. I personally have been working in this space for the last couple of years, understanding the challenges and what COVID has brought in, which has been an alarming impact on women globally, with a disappropriate loss of jobs and burnout, especially when we are juggling work with caregiving responsibilities as well. There is a shift in gender policies as well from what I've been partnering with organizations. However, there's a long way to go. While there is a stated focus on building strong gender diverse talent, there is also a strong need to reflect on reasons that keep this talent pool from growing and thriving, as seen in the pandemic. This starts with recognizing that gender equity is, and it's not just about enabling women, it's about challenging mindsets. It's about challenging attitudes and assumptions that people hold about every gender. It's about women and men and people of every gender, recognizing the social conditioning that has informed their responses and expectations. So here are the three things that we hope to cover from the panel. The first is, as panel, we will examine what are some of the mind traps that have impacted us as women and men at work, and also explore how we've overcome it. The second is also, how do we explore strategies and everyday actions that people of every gender can take to build a more gender equitable workspace? And finally, it will explore what organizations can do through allyship and unconscious bias training, etc., to mitigate gender bias and enable employees to actively participate in making their workspaces inclusive. We have an amazing panelist group over here as well, who will be leading this discussion. We have Chaitra Chitanand, who is a co-founder of Salt.one. She's co-founded multiple organizations and multiple startups. So she brings in that bit of experience as a woman entrepreneur in terms of busting that myth. We have Kate Crosser, who's the CEO of the South Australian Film Corporation, also an Emmy Award winner. So it'll be interesting to understand from her perspective as a CEO and as a woman leader, what are the practices they've put in place. We also have Maciej Fagasinski. He's the Global Learning and Development a member for the UN Refugee Agency all the way from Budapest. He'll be logging in to share his insights on what UNHCR is doing in the space. And lastly, we have Pooja Nanda, who's the head of people operations in Google India. And I'm privileged to moderate this beautiful discussion and hope to get some beautiful insights, not just for myself, but for all of you. And that's how we culminate our 10-year celebration. So I'm super stoked about what's coming this week. And we've done this little pre-event live today to invite all of you as an open house to come experience, to learn, to share. and partake in this celebration. So don't forget to block your calendars on 24th March. The timings and the link will be posted down below, and look forward to all of you on this beautiful event. Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you.